This week's show brought to you by Chenault & Hogue for all your insurance needs. Moses Incorporated, complete outdoor power equipment solutions. Welcome everybody to the Scott County Cardinals Boys Basketball News Graphic Coaches Show. It is the 11th Region Tournament edition, and what a road it has been for the Cardinals to get to the final of that Region Tournament for the fourth consecutive year. Not easy by any stretch of imagination. Since we were last with you, the Cards lost at Henry Clay on Friday night in the 42nd District Final. That sent them on the road on Monday night. Now, they found out their draw Saturday, and I think most of us knew in the back of our mind the way these things work out, it would probably be the toughest draw, and indeed, Scott County had to go to Madison Central, a team that they needed to have a big comeback to beat during the regular season. Of course, the ingredient that wasn't there that time, Michael Marino was out of the lineup. He was back this night. That was a factor. Another factor, Coach Hicks thought the Cardinals' pressure would get to the Indians, and it did eventually. It took a second-half comeback again, but the Cards pulled out a 77-66 victory and moved on to a Wednesday night semifinal against Frankfort. The Panthers were here 2 years ago, as you may remember, in the quarterfinals. Scott County handled them easily that time. I think everybody knew it would be a little different, with Frankfort having beaten Henry Clay and some other good teams during the season, ranked in the top 10 in their own right, so nobody thought it was going to be an easy semifinal, except maybe admittedly some of the Cards had that in the back of their mind, and some past encounters with this group as they were coming up through the ranks in elementary and junior high and middle school, but not the case. This game was a battle from the get-go. Frankfort led by as many as 11 in the first half and as many as 9 early in the second half before SC's defense finally created some offense. That's been the struggle lately, is finding that offense in the half-court game. The three-pointers just haven't been falling, and they've needed to get running to get up on their opponents and be able to make something out of that pressure. Well, in fact, they did in the second half of this game and pulled out a 56-51 victory to set up Round 4 against Henry Clay. It will be for all the marbles on Friday night at 8 p.m. at EKU's McBrayer Arena. The fourth matchup, and it will be the decisive one. Scott County swept the regular season series, but as you probably remember, it wasn't easy in that respect either. First time they went to Henry Clay, it was a 67-59 win, but that was a comeback from double digits down. I think it was 25-10 in the first half before Henry Clay kind of wilted under that pressure a little bit. And then the second game of the season at Scott County, the Cards had almost a full week to prepare and took full advantage of it. They really dominated that game from the get-go and won by about 20. I would expect some combination of all of the above on Friday night. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for anybody. I think this will be a 32-minute battle that will come down to how well can Scott County, A, keep Harris Hawkins off the boards. When Henry Clay has been successful, he has been Mr. Double-Double as he was for them all season. They've got to contain the junior, Marquez Warwick, just a great outside shooter. And in the last game in the district final, it was the bench that stepped up. Ramon Jackson and Marquise Mackey, some other guys chiming in there. Mayan White, kind of the fifth starter on that team. He got some big points. Henry Clay showed that they're more than a three-man show in that game. And so Scott County will have to counter that with its own balance. I think we've seen that against Frankfort. You had 5 players between 8 and 14 points. So right now it's coming from all sources, but it's been a struggle. I think the other key for Scott County here is they got to make some three-pointers early in the game. Glenn Covington was only 3 for 13 overall against Frankfort. Diablo Stewart didn't get off many shots at all, and he did a great job running the offense and being tough with the basketball, but they need him to get on track and make some shots. He did have 24 down at Madison Central, so not exactly a slump, but some ups and downs for Stewart, and certainly the Cards will need a big game from him. Lorenzo Williams stepped up in the Frankfort game, 7 points in the fourth quarter, and his defense, along with Covington's defense against the two big guns from Frankfort, really turned the tide in that game. So that sets the stage for you. It's going to be a good one. Hope you will be there at 8 p.m. on Friday night. If the Cardinals win, whoever wins that game will advance, of course, to Rupp Arena in the state game. State schedule, if you want to look ahead a little bit, if in case, maybe, 1:30 on Thursday, which is March the 7th, I believe. That'll be the first game for the 11th Region champion, whoever it is. And they'll be playing the 9th Region champion, and that could be a battle with Covington Catholic or a team of that nature right off the bat. So an exciting, little bit stressful, okay, a lot stressful time. I've felt the butterflies in my stomach these last two games, so I can only imagine how the players feel. But as Michael Marino will tell you in the interview coming up later, this is not their first rodeo. As we mentioned, 4 consecutive trips to this final, and they've won it the past 2 years. First time they've played Henry Clay since 2014. That time, they also avenged a district loss to win. So some history that they're hoping repeats itself. Coach Hicks, he's been here. Talk about not a first rodeo. 40-year veteran, 1,000+ wins. He's a little frustrated with how the offense has taken shape this past few games, but they've been put in a spot on the road and even on a neutral court against some tough opponents. So let's see what Coach Hicks has to say about this run and what we can expect Friday night. The Cards had a game plan to pressure Madison Central's guards into submission.
You know, Cal, sometimes all them plans, what they say, some best plans is up on the floor. But that was our plan, and it did work out last night. And again, it worked out because of a tremendous effort by our basketball team.
Michael Marino's big second half was an important factor versus the Indians.
I get excited now every practice, every game, because every day, Cal, he just looks a little better each day, and I think each day he gets more confidence and better conditioning, timing, everything that goes, all the above that goes along with becoming a basketball player. He gets better every day, and as the old saying goes, as Michael gets better, we get better.
Frankfort didn't go down easily in the region semifinals.
Coach O'Brien's done a really good job with that team. He's a long-time coach at East Jessamine. His wife took a job in Frankfort, so he's got 2 sons on the team. He went to Frankfort and has done a remarkable job with that team. I mean, I think they won 29, 30 ball games now and ranked top 10 in the state. And you look at them and you think, well, they play pretty good defense. They really get actually good defensively. They got Frank and Davis, 2 really good guards. They got a big man in the middle, Tillman. That's a pretty good player also. So, boy, Mike, comes right back down with another good big man he's got to guard.
Scott County will play its 4th consecutive top 10 opponent in Friday night's regional final.
You put a district championship at Henry Clay, who now is ranked number 2 in the state behind us. And then Madison Central, who's ranked number 9 in the state, that we go to their home court first round of regional. I can't. That's a tough assignment, Cal. Tough assignment. But what they say, it didn't kill us. They say what don't kill you make you stronger. So.
That was Coach Hicks. He is looking for his 13th region championship at Scott County. It would be the school's 17th overall if they can pull it off Friday night. Simply amazing stuff for this program over the last quarter century. 2 of the guys that have gotten them there the past 4 years, Bryce Long had a big third quarter against Frankfort. And Michael Marino, as we said, every game he gets a little bit stronger, and his passing and his rebounding and his defense just as big a key as anything he can contribute offensively. Let's see what Bryce and Michael had to say. Madison Central on the road was one of the toughest first-round challenges imaginable.
Yeah, it's definitely different playing at somebody else's place, but we got the draw we did, and I think we went down there and handled it pretty well. It was a crazy atmosphere.
Madison Central was probably the toughest first-round draw, although Coach, was really happy with the draw going to Madison Central and with the battle we had with them earlier in the year without me and everything. Everybody felt like, this was the time for us to get knocked off if there was a time.
Now that the Cardinals have a couple of losses on their record, the rest of the state sees them as vulnerable.
It shows everybody that we're not this God team that can't be beat. For sure, puts a chip on our shoulder and we want to win now, and everybody's doubting us, but makes it that much better when we do.
We kind of had the invincibility, trade on throughout the season, just still being, a one-loss team going all the way into the last game of the season. Same with last year being a one-loss team going all the way to state championship. People, we step out there and we already have we almost have them beat mentally just because they're like, okay, we're going to go out and take our beat and get ready for the next game. But now that people, as soon as get beat, they feel like, Scott County's done. They don't know how to respond with losses, everything like that. You got to look at the experience, the seasoning here. This isn't our first rodeo. This is my 5th year of varsity basketball, and I've made it to region 4 of those 5. I really didn't play much the first year, but the 4 years I've been in high school, we've made it every year, and we just learned exactly how to get things done.
Friday's fourth meeting with Henry Clay will be the first on a neutral court.
Definitely nice to play at neutral court. I mean, EKU, I love playing there. Played there for 3 years now, and it's definitely a good place to play.
Honestly, I really like going to Eastern. It's kind of almost like a home game now. This will be our 10th game there in 4 years, so a lot of teams haven't, played there as much. So it's pretty cool. We feel comfortable when we get to Eastern.